introduction seminar we're doing tonight. This is Brad Reese, and with me is my partner and our Vice President of Business Development, Curtis Hall. And we welcome you as we go through some of the presentation tonight. We're very excited about the opportunity. We are in what we call a pre-launch or beta phase, and are looking for people that want to partner with us in the channel commerce industry to help us in the growth of a new and exciting business, which we have some exciting things to talk about. I'm going to turn this over to Curtis Hall to get into the details of what we're doing. And if you've got a pad and pencil, go ahead and take some notes. So here you go, Curtis Hall.
All right. Thanks, Brad. I'm excited to be on the call, as always. I love spending a few minutes and introducing who we are and what we're doing to everybody. And I'm sure you're going to have some questions. Don't worry about it. You'll have plenty of time to get whatever questions answered you want. There's no pressure here. Just listen in, take whatever notes you want, get back with the person who invited you on the call. If you want to call in directly in here to Avisae and get a hold of us at any time, we'll be more than happy to take your call and answer any questions you might have. But we're excited about what's going on. We're excited about the Blue Ocean Business Group. I want to take just a couple of minutes and just talk about what the Blue Ocean Business Group means. And I've looked at a bunch of different ways to talk about this, but before we get started on talking a little bit about the Blue Ocean Business Group, keep in mind as I go through this, we're just here to give you the details of who we are and what we're doing, and you all have to look at it from the perspective of where you're currently at. Okay. Now, because we're going to talk about business, obviously one of the things that coincides with business is money. I mean, it just is a natural part of doing business, obviously, and it seems like everybody seems to want our money nowadays. And that being the case, we need to have enough of it. Most people don't have enough of it. In fact, I have an article I find very interesting that's right in front of me here. It was a report that was done by the Employee Benefit Research Institute. And it says, I'll just read a little bit of it. It says, it's often said that getting old isn't for sissies, but baby boomers and Gen Xers may find that to be an understatement. Americans aren't saving enough to retire, with 57% of U.S. workers reporting less than $25,000 in total household savings and investments, excluding their homes. And that was a new report that just came out. It says it's not something that workers are unconcerned about, however, as 28% say they have no confidence that they'll be able to comfortably retire. So, the word's out. I mean, people know what's going on. I think we all know what's going on. And yet we tend to get busy in our lives, and we don't pay a lot of attention to the reality of our financial situation. So the one thing that we know is 95% of the people in this country only hold in their grasp 5% of the wealth, and 5% of the people hold 95% of the wealth. And you can categorize that very easily into this situation where you have something like the cash flow quadrant here that talks about the difference between those two groups. One is in the employment and self-employment sector, and the other is in the business owner and investor sector. So what we really want to do tonight is really offer up some solutions, some practical, realistic solutions for people that would like to take themselves on the left side of this quadrant and get themselves on the right side of the quadrant, where they can become a business owner, they can begin to own their own cash flow, and they can begin to take that cash flow and invest it in a way that they can begin to gain returns on their money and create a passive income, a passive residual income for themselves, versus having to pound out time for money all the time. So we think it's very important what we're doing. We think we have an incredible responsibility, and we're looking for people. Just so everybody knows here, we don't argue about this or anything else. We are looking for people that want to be on the right side of this quadrant. It's plain and simple. And if that's not you, that's okay. We aren't saying that's a bad thing. That's fine. If that's what you like doing and that's where you like being, that's great. But we are actively pursuing and looking for people to join us in our cause of what we're doing that want to be on the right side of this quadrant. So we're here to talk about that. Now, when we talk about a platform that will allow people access to the things that they need in order to move themselves over to that side of the quadrant, it's really kind of like likening it to the NBA. Okay, so if I'm in the NBA, or if Brad's in the NBA, we're now a player and we're in this league. But how do we have a voice? How do we have any say-so in what goes on? Are we just going to be dictated to by the owners? Are we just going to be dictated to by the NBA as a whole? Or do we have a voice? Do we have representation? And in this case, they have representation. It's called the Players Association. That Player Association has an elected board that the players elect. In this case, it's Derek Fisher is the president of that board, or was in the past. I'm assuming that he still is. And he represents those players. Now, the reason that he is the one that represents the players is because he was elected to do so. Well, why was he elected to do so? He was elected to do so because people trust him. And in the same way that the NBA has a Players Association, the Blue Ocean Business Group is an association. It's an association of successful business entrepreneurs, business owners, and within that association, we have an elected board. The current president of the board is the gentleman that you see pictured here. His name's Ron Simmons. Ron Simmons is a very successful multimillionaire businessman out of Dallas, Texas. He's an incredible guy. He's one of my best buddies in the world. You'll all get a chance to know and meet him and be around him and gain a lot of knowledge from him. He's one of the most bright guys financially I've ever talked to in my entire life. And he is the current chairman of the board, along with another 6 additional members of that board. And what this allows us is it allows those of us that want to get involved and be involved in the Blue Ocean Business Group a platform to succeed in business, and it also allows us a voice. Okay, so that's what this is. That's what this is all about. So it's an association of like-minded business owners that is being led by successful leaders in the channel commerce industry. We have an influence within that, and the reason that we wanted to design it this way was because we had to have a voice of our own because we trust us. Just like the NBA players trust Derek Fisher, we trust ourselves. So that's what we're doing. Now, as we began to put this company together from the ground up, the other thing that we wanted to focus on was creating a blue ocean opportunity. There's a major difference between a company that has a blue ocean opportunity versus a red ocean opportunity. A blue ocean opportunity is a business where uncontested market space is created, where we eliminate the competition by the things that we do, and really ultimately by the culture that exists within the parameters of that platform. It creates a culture, and that culture can separate itself from everybody else with successful companies so dramatically that they literally make the competition irrelevant, versus a red ocean company that they just simply go in and they try and compete every day. They try and gain market share. I own several companies currently that are red ocean companies. They're good companies, and I love them, and they're profitable, but I compete every single day. We come up with ways that we can just compete in the market space for the same customer. So there's a limit on that. There's a cap to that. The market can only handle and bear so much, and so there's a cap to that, but we just continually compete. So if we're going to design a company that has unlimited opportunity, it has to be a blue ocean company, and that's how the name Blue Ocean Business Group came to be. Okay. Now, we also understood that if we're going to create a blue ocean opportunity, that we needed to get together and think outside of the box. So there was a group of businessmen that came together about 6 months ago, all very, very successful from all over the country, from New Hampshire, from Ohio, from Atlanta, Georgia, Dallas, Texas, Ogden, Utah, Calgary, Canada, all came together and said, guys, let's create something that's unique, that hasn't been done before, and give people access to what they really need in order to have a successful opportunity, okay? So we've created a 3-tier or 3-dimensional approach to doing that. The first is people need a business. They need to have a business that they can own and operate. If they never own a business, then you will never control your cash flow. Your cash flow will always be controlled by somebody else. So we want to give people access to business. We've created what we call the Avisae Marketplace, and we'll discuss what that is and what that means. Within the umbrella of the Avisae Marketplace, we have a training or educational development system called the Blue Ocean Success System, which is the BOSS. And the BOSS is there to help people learn and understand what it will take to put together a successful business within the Avisae Marketplace that can produce and allow people to own their own cash flow. And then lastly, once you own your own cash flow, how do you begin to get that into the I quadrant, that investor quadrant in the cash flow quadrant, where you begin to get your money working for you? So that's what we're going to talk about, is those things. The first thing we're going to talk about is, if you're going to get set up in business for yourself, you're going to need access to several things. The thing that you're going to need to have access to first is all of the things that it takes to run, own, and operate a business. Well, those things are very expensive, They take a lot of time. Most people don't have the risk tolerance for it. But you need to understand all those things have already been done. We wanted to put together a business model that would lower that bar enough and that risk tolerance enough that just people like you and the average people could go out there and have an unlimited opportunity without having an exorbitant amount of risk. So these things have been done, from legal and tax to IT, international supply chain management, product development, commissions, and so on. The Blue Ocean Success System is already built, okay? It's a proven system. It's a system like you'd see at a McDonald's or a successful franchise that you've seen before. All those successful franchises have a system, and when people will plug in and use that system, their likelihood or their ability to succeed goes up dramatically. I mean, it's a major difference between people who have a system and people who do not have a system. So the Blue Ocean Success System and the people involved there is in place to help you to succeed through this Avisae opportunity. And then lastly, tying into Ron Simmons and the Retirement Advisors Group to begin to educate yourself financially. And not only educate yourself, but give you access to people who are skilled asset managers who have experience, knowledge, and know-how in that department, because most of us, let's face it, we are not experts in that area. And if you're not an expert, there's a good chance you're going to lose your money. So we want to give people access, and I know that firsthand. Trust me, I've done it. So let's talk about business first and foremost. If you're going to own and operate a business, the one thing that everyone would look for in a business, and this is business 101, you could tell me this as well as I could tell you, if you're going to do something, then let's do it one time. Let's have that business be a long-term, sustainable business. Let's have it be built on a platform that will allow itself to be long-term and sustainable. In order to do that, we felt that we needed to put into place what we call a value innovation scenario. The value innovation means that we are not going to differentiate ourselves by just our products and services. We have to combine the quality of those products and services along with a low-cost opportunity with those to where we add a greater value to people. If we are just a company that's a differentiation company, but we think we can charge an exorbitant amount of money because our products are unique, we end up putting ourselves in a very bad position, and in turn business owners in a bad position, because there's no long-term sustainability with that. The one thing that we know, I've been in the product business for a long time, I deal with a lot of manufacturers, billion-dollar companies who manufacture products, goods, and services. And the thing that I know about them is that they're incredibly accessible. There are no secrets in the marketplace. If someone can access it, somebody else can access it. So if you charge too much, then what will eventually happen is if the product ends up having enough demand, it'll end up on the shelf at Walmart. Well, if the product ends up on the shelf at Walmart for $5, and you just thought it was so unique that they would never have it, and you're now charging $35, you're competing at $35 with a product that's $5. It's not long-term, it's not sustainable, it's not a value innovation. So we're going to combine differentiation and low cost. That's the product strategy. We're also going to have a scenario here that we're gonna have several categories. One of the categories is products that we call anyway categories, anyway products. These are products that you are going to buy anyway. And to us, those are the products that obviously make the most sense. These are products that you need to buy anyway. They make sense. You use them in your daily life. We don't have to convince you that it's a good idea, okay? So we're going to be a company through Avisae Marketplace that is filled with those products. We've started out with 5. That will turn into 10. That will turn into, from one product category in health and nutrition, it'll turn into skincare. It'll turn into home care. It'll turn into services, whether it's cell phone services or direct TV services or whatever it might be. There are access to all of those things, and we're going to continue to pursue those things through our value innovation model. We started in health and nutrition because it's a huge industry. It's $1.7 trillion annually, and I don't know of anybody out there right now that doesn't need better health and nutrition. We don't eat very well. Most people don't exercise enough. Most people don't have a great lifestyle, and it becomes an issue. In fact, as I read on further in the same article that I was reading earlier, we really hit both functions. It says workers get the fact that they aren't saving as much money as they should. That's not translating into increased savings. It's translating into, I'll just push my retirement age back. So people are deciding that they just need to work longer. The problem with that is this. In the next line, it says, that's a dangerous plan, he cautioned, because nearly half of retirees say they stopped working sooner than they had planned on, most often due to problems such as poor health and disability. So the reality is, we need to take care of ourselves better, and we need to have greater opportunities financially in order to get to the place we want to get to quicker. So we've created that. These products are phenomenal. For those of you that would like to know more about these products and the unique nature of the products and what our philosophy is, tomorrow night there is a Friday night there is a webinar. You can go to Avisae.com. You can click on the Blue Ocean Success System link, and there will be a link there to tie into that. And you will get a lot of fantastic information from a very knowledgeable person that we will introduce that knows way more about this than I do. But just to give you a quick overview, Sustain is our flagship product. It's phenomenal. It will help support your body at the cellular level. I recently went and had my blood work done. I did my annual physical, which I do every 12 years. So anyway, I don't do that annual physical as often as I should. But when I went in and met with the doctor, he said, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it because you're in the best shape I've ever seen you in before. And I know that it's due to these products that we're taking. This product has to do with, at the cellular level, with a thing called telomere support. Go research telomeres. You'll find out what they're about and what they're finding out about them. It has to do with our youthfulness and maintaining youthful body and inside and out. And that's very on the forefront of science right now. So we have telomere support in here. We also have a thing called glutathione markers that will support at the cellular level as well. With 23 essential vitamins and minerals, it's an incredible product. If you were going to take or do any of what we have, this would be at the top of the list. Next one is Indulge. Daily Indulge has made a huge difference to me. I was a person that did not eat very well, didn't eat very healthy, and this allowed me two things. Number one, it allowed me to save money because it's less than $2 a serving, and I wasn't spending less than $2 on any meal that I ever ate. So $2 a serving, it made unbelievable sense financially, but it is also what we call the perfect meal of the day. It combines 4 different proteins. It's a phenomenal product. It'll make you feel full longer. It will give you all the vitamins, nutrients, minerals that you need on a daily basis. And I was taking that twice a day in the beginning. Now I'm on a more of a maintenance program at once a day. I'll show you the result of that here shortly. We have another drink. Most people do not drink enough water. They drink a lot of Diet Coke. They drink a lot of carbonated drinks and energy drinks and those things that are incredibly bad for you. We know they are. Here's a way to get away from that. Be drinking more water. Most people just don't like water. They want to taste. So we give you an incredible raspberry lemonade taste with green tea extract, which is the most powerful antioxidant, natural antioxidant that we know of. Noni, vitamin D, vitamin B12, phenomenal product, along with raspberry ketones to help promote metabolism and help you lose some weight, like you see here with me. That's me. I know I look very unhappy on the left. It's because I was mad. Anyway, no, I didn't like how I was feeling. I didn't like how I was looking. And so January 15th, when we got these products, I said I better put my money where my mouth is, and I better change my lifestyle. And I did. I started taking our products. Within 6 weeks, I'd lost 20 pounds. I went from 204 to 184. I'm about 180 now. I've lost about 25 pounds, but I've maintained it. It's been phenomenal. I feel better than ever. Reduce will be a major factor in doing that. Had a lady call into the office yesterday and talk to Rena. Rena was saying, amazing, that's incredible. When she hung up, I said, what was that all about? She said that was a lady that just called in. She wanted to make sure that her product shipment was coming and that there wasn't any problems because in the last 9 weeks, she had lost 32 pounds. And we are hearing stories like that over and over and over and over again. So if you're looking to get a more healthier life than you currently have, here's a great start and a great way for you to do that. We have Relieve, which has to do with in the inflammatory response in your body. It will help to curb that. It's going to help your knees start feeling better, the ankles, all the joints, the back, the neck, all of those things. Phenomenal product. And we know that inflammation is becoming a major factor even in our hearts. They're saying that they're finding out that cholesterol isn't as big a deal as they thought. It's the fact that people's inflammation is too high, and that causes a problem with the cholesterol because cholesterol sticks to the inflammation, and that's what gets you all clogged up. It's not necessarily the cholesterol. So we need to fight and reduce inflammation in our bodies. These products are incredible. They're priced right. They will do you an amazing amount of good, and you'll be proud of them, and you'll be proud to not only take them yourself, but you'll be proud to share them with other people. Now, having said that, as phenomenal as they are, science is moving rapidly. So we want you to know our commitment is to deal with our advisory board and the scientists and the companies that we deal with. In fact, we have a meeting tomorrow with one of the major companies that we work with that's flying in from Ohio. We have a meeting with them tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, actually. They will be here in town to discuss some of the things that we're currently working on with some new science and technology that's become available recently that's pretty phenomenal. So we will continue to pursue new and better health alternatives within this space. But keep in mind, in the overall strategy, this is only one product category. We will have multiple product categories. So we're going to have a broad spectrum of products, goods, and services, all of them needing to meet the value innovation standard, okay? So just understand that. So let's talk about what it's going to take to get up and running in business, okay? We wanted to lower the bar and make it really a much more simple situation for people to be able to get in business for themselves. So we're going to give you access to everything that's there, and your access to that is going to be a whopping $79, $199, or $299, depending on which one of these you want to come in at, okay? The $299 is what I would suggest simply because it has all of the products bundled with it. It saves you $65 on that product. Plus, it gets you set up in business. You get what they call an IBO number, which is an independent business owner number, and you then become part of the Blue Ocean Business Group and the association, the trade association that's in place there, so that you can begin to connect and contribute to that overall concept as well, okay? So that's what you'll need to do in order to do that. Now, what we're going to then do with that business is we're going to teach you how to create 3 perpetual asset channels. Now, you may build 4 or 5, but let's talk about building 3. And the reason we talk about it is because you can build 3. With the time that you have on a part-time basis, you can go out and create, on a part-time, you can create a full-time income. I'll tell you that. I've done it. So has Brad, and so has a lot of people that we are in business with here. But we're going to talk about creating these asset channels, okay? So how do we go about doing that? How we go about doing that is we utilize your assets and we combine those with the assets of our Tier 2 compensation plan. Your asset is the skill set that you've developed over your lifetime, okay, whatever those skills are. Everyone has a different skill set. But we also have the people that we know. I had a gentleman in here today, a young guy. He's been very successful. He owns a clothing company. He's done very well. He's in action sports, motocross, and all that kind of stuff. He travels all over the country. He has a line of products that are phenomenal, does very well. But he gets it. He totally gets it. He looked at our opportunity and he said, look, I get it. He said, it's about our connections. That's really, no matter what it boils down to in business, the more people that we can connect to, and the more that we have resources that will allow us to connect to people, the more ability we have collectively to do good for each other. And that's what this boils down to. Now, when you take that and combine that with a systemized approach to building that and monetizing that within a system now, we really have an incredible opportunity. So what we're going to teach you how to do is we're going to teach you how to become your own best customer, take the products, goods, and services you are buying anyway, use them for yourself, better your own health situation. As you do that, I promise you there's going to be a ton of people who want access to these products and services. I see my brother Kyle's on the call. He can tell you just the fact he's lost 24 pounds. I've lost 25 pounds. I see Matt on the call. I know he's lost 10 pounds. We feel better than we've ever felt. Well, when you feel like that, you talk about it and people ask you about it, and you can set them up as a preferred customer. So it's pretty easy to do business that way, okay? So we're going to teach you how to set up 3 people. Okay, as you set up 3 people, we teach them each how to do what we call 100 PV or 100 points. 100 points would be about $120 to $165 in actual products. Okay, when you do that, they each do 100 PV. You're going to get a $50 residual check on this part of the compensation. Now, there's 16, 17, 18 different ways to earn income. I'm going to talk about 2 of them. Okay, so if you want to make more money, we simply take them, connect them in the same scenario. We increase our exposure and our connection points. So we expand their connections by 3, okay? They now each make $50. Now you're at $250. We do that one more time. We expand it by another 3. So 3 you get 3, you get 3. You're at $1,500 a month in income. Now, I don't know what you're doing in the next 2 months to get a $1,500 a month raise. I don't know. And I don't even know if that's a lot of money to you. To some of you, that's a lot of money. To others, it isn't. But $1,500 to most people, that's making your house payment. The number one expense that the average guy has is his house payment. If you currently don't have a house, then you can start earning some money towards a down payment for a house. You can start getting that house paid off quicker. You can start paying down your debt. You can start doing the things that we need to teach people how to do to be financially responsible so that they can get out of debt and begin to now focus on shifting those dollars, that cash flow into assets. It's about gaining assets. People don't have enough assets out there. How do you gain assets? There's only two ways to get an asset. You either have to build an asset or you have to buy an asset. Most people don't have enough money to buy it, therefore they need to build it. That's the whole purpose of us creating this opportunity, is to allow people the opportunity to go out and begin to build assets and begin to build cash flow. Now, the base of this, we will reward you for building a proper base. A proper base is 3 who get 3 who get 3. You will have a good base to work from. We then drive a concept called depth, which means we get another 5, so a total of 8, okay? In a straight line, that gives you another $800. If you get 3 teams that are 16 deep in each of those, that's another $800. And if you get 3 teams of 24, it's an additional $900. So for creating the proper structure to create a successful channel commerce business in 3 commerce channels. And understand, when we talk about channel commerce, we understand what we're saying there. What we're really saying is you're going to build a distribution channel, okay? And understand the value of a distribution channel is huge, because if you have a distribution channel built, it literally, when I was 23 years old, I built my first distribution channels. Those channels have continued to pay me. I'm now 49, and there's never been 1 month since age 23, when I first started doing this, where I did not get paid for having a channel. I've always been paid for having channels, always, every single month since I was 23 years old, okay? So that's a long time and a lot of dollars that have been accumulated because of understanding the principle of connecting people. Now, back when I was 23, that wasn't so easy to do. But in the world that we live in today, I hope everyone understands, without ever touching the product, without ever shipping it or warehousing it or figuring out how to pay out commissions or doing any of that stuff, in the technologically advanced world that we live in, you can have a multi-million-dollar business and run it out of your home and never touch a product. That is what we need to be doing. That makes complete sense. Why not take advantage of that? We already have connections. We already know we use goods and services. Why not combine all of that stuff so that we're smart enough to figure out, if we're going to do it, let's all combine our buying power and let's control it ourselves so that we make the money. Why go give it to somebody else when we can make it ourselves, okay? So that's what this is all a process of doing. I'm going to turn it over to Brad. He's going to tell a little bit more of the potential here, so take it away, Brad.
So thank you, Curtis. And as talking about this, I want you to understand the power of leverage. As we begin to leverage all the access that we have to people, and as you connect to the Avisae Blue Ocean Business Group, you're in the center of our whole medallion, and what you do, you know people, and we'll help you and support you. But as Curtis mentioned, we begin to get a lot of people coming to us, so we begin to move more products, goods, and services into these channels. For example, you could, in your first channel, you may have a lot of people that are really high on nutrition, and they spend a lot of their resources on the nutrition, but the second channel may have a lot of people that are into skincare. It doesn't matter. As we begin to produce numbers in this, and as you have these channels that you've created, suddenly as we throw another product down that channel, we move more commerce to that channel, it produces more revenue to you. So if we have 10 products and suddenly we come out with an 11th SKU, you get a raise, simply because you're plugged into the right people with the right connections. And then we get 24 SKUs, you get a raise. When we get to the 30th SKU, you'll get a raise because somebody in each one of those channels will buy that product because it happened to be the right product for them that continues to move just like any Walmart does. We'll move some in, move out. But as we begin, we just showed you 2 ways to make money. We showed you the Quicksilver bonus and the Accelerator bonus over here in green. Those are like he said, the base or the structure to help you be profitable. What I'm going to share with you right now is simply a team commission. By building the structural business properly, by going 8 levels in depth, if everybody got 3 who got 3 who got 3, you produce $42,000 a month in income just from the team commission, which is very significant. Now, there's still, aside from what I just shared with here, there's still $62,000 in commissions available from everything else that we have in our commission structure, our bonus plan, what we call our financial rewards plan. Now, if you only did 5% of this, you weren't the very best. You only could do 5%. We say you failed this by 95%. You would still make $11,000 a month. I don't know how many of you would be excited about an $11,000 a month raise. I know I would. And now combine that with what we told you to do in the beginning. Just simply go 3 who get 3 and get 8 deep from there, or 24 deep. That's our Quicksilver Accelerator. You'd make $15,000 a month in income. Last time I checked, that's $180,000 a year annually. And how many would like to put that away? You keep doing what you're doing now and have an extra $180,000 a year for investments and go into our I quadrant. This is our rewards plan in a nutshell. We don't want to focus too much on this because you don't need to know all the numbers and stuff. What you need to understand what to do is simply go with the connections you know, your assets, go get 3 and help them get 3 and help them get 3 and make $1,500, and then drive these, accelerate your business by helping these people in what we call our depth concept. If you help 3 people in each of your 3 channels earn $4,000 a month, you'll have financial freedom. You will be free. You would have established some leaders in your organization where you can be doing the things that you would like to do.
So that's real quickly kind of, thanks, Brad. I appreciate that. And Brad's created this whole compensation plan. He's incredible at it. It's the best I've ever seen at doing this. But it was a combined effort of not only Brad, but it was the Blue Ocean Business Group coming to us and saying, here's how we would like to see this function. And we're talking about guys who have moved over $1 billion collectively, over $1 billion in products, goods, and services through the channel commerce industry that were advising the direction of the compensation. And so we've designed it unbelievably because of that. Now, we've already talked a lot about this retirement program, but the bottom of this is the most true thing ever. And if you just think about your own situation, think if this hits home to you, because I know it certainly did to me. And that was, the main reason people struggle financially is because they've spent years in school but learned nothing about money. The result is that people learn how to work for money but never learn how to have their money work for them. That's probably the most true statement I've ever heard. We all go out and we become educated on all these things, but no one ever tells us what to do with money. 2 things they never taught me how to do. They never taught me how to be a dad, and they never taught me what to do with my money. And so the 2 most important things in our whole life, we have to end up learning on our own. Well, you know what? You shouldn't have to learn those on your own. There's people who understand it. You just need access to it. That's what this company is about. That's what we're about, okay? So you're going to have an opportunity along those lines in this Tier 3 to earn, you know what, one of the things we feel like you should have? If you're part of this, then you should have a part of the profits of the overall company. You should be able to earn shares in the company, not just have this company dictate things to you and tell you how it's going to be, and they sit in and roll in tens of millions of dollars, and you never participate in any of it. You just have to do what they say. That's just not the way it should be. Therefore, we have the Blue Ocean Business Group, okay, that leads and directs the affairs of the company, okay, and we give people the ability to earn shares through our Legacy 300 Shares program. When you enroll as a Star Plus IBO, you get a share. Okay, when you enroll your first 3, you get an additional share. For each person after that, you pick up another share. If you do 300 points in volume a month, either personally or through customers or a combination of both, you pick up another share. Now, in the early stages of business, we have a multiple on these because things aren't perfect yet. We're on the ground floor. We're just kicked off. We've only been in operation for 2 months. Things are going phenomenal. We've had hardly any hiccups, but we've had a few, and we know we're going to have some more. But for being patient and helping us through solutions to those hiccups, we're going to reward you for that. So there's a multiple right now. If you're thinking at all about getting in started with your own business, I would do it immediately, because right now these are times by a multiple of 3 through the end of June. So rather than getting 1 share for doing that, you'll get 3. If you really get busy, you can actually get yourself set up and get your first 3 set up by the end of June and end up picking up 12 shares, which could be worth a lot down the road, okay? So we'll take 1% of the overall volume of the company. It will go into a pool, and at the end of the year, we'll take the number of shares that people have, divide it into that 1%, and you will get your percentage. In the beginning, that won't be that much money, but 20 countries from now, $100 million from now, $200 million, $500 million from now, that could be a legacy check. That could be a big check. That's one of those checks that is just extra. That's one of those things that comes at the end of the year that you don't live off of, you don't use it for anything else, and you get this big lump sum all of a sudden that you could say, you know what, I'm just going to roll all of that into my retirement plan. whatever it is, give you some options. Most people don't have options. So we're currently, just so expectations are set right, we're in this launch phase, this pre-launch beta phase. We're shipping product, we're paying commissions, we're in early system development. And so we're just still getting a lot of things coordinated and organized, but it's all coming together very well. So be patient with us. We're going to have our grand opening launch coming up in September or October, probably someplace nice and warm and beautiful like Las Vegas, Nevada, or Orlando, Florida, or maybe right here in good old Utah. But it's going to be
Park City.
Yeah, that's right, Park City, Utah. But it's going to be awesome wherever we go. But our thing that we would like to stress more than anything else, and I know this can have a tendency to come across a little bit corny, to say to go out and pursue your dream. I get that some people go, oh yeah, old brother, I've heard that a million times. It's just true. I don't know how else to say it, okay? I have been around, and I've been very fortunate in my life to be connected with very, very successful people, very successful. Let me just tell you that when I've had the chance to be around those successful people, in every single case, there is not one time that I was around a highly successful person that wasn't a dreamer. They are dreamers. They are people who see things bigger and better than where they currently are, and they figure out a way to get there. So whether it's going and hiking the Tetons, or whether it's going to Europe that would fire you up, or just fly fishing on your favorite river, or going down to the Bahamas and laying in that hammock. I was in Hawaii last week for a week with my wife and my oldest son. He just graduated from high school, and we took him for a week to Hawaii. And just had such a great time. What an incredible place to go down and to hit these beautiful beaches, and to go out snorkeling and see all the different fish, and to hike to the top of volcanoes, and to go bike riding, and just to be active and enjoy your life. To me, it's not the money, it's the experiences that the money allow us to have. And when we can have those experiences with more of you, I promise you it becomes better. I've done it. I've been around it now since I was 23. The more people that we can connect, and the more that through those connections we can better people's lives, and we can then take those lives and we can collectively do things together. We can plan and organize events, and we can go do them. We can go on the beaches of the world, and we can do fun things. You know what? That's what it's all about, is having those experiences. So that's what we're going to encourage you to do. You heard my alarm go off a minute ago. I'm trying to shorten these up a little bit. I talk too much. So the alarm's gone off, so I'm going to shut it down. But your next move would be to get back with the person that invited you onto the call. If you would like to call and contact us, any of you, feel free to do so. Get a hold of us. You can get our number from the people that invited you on the call. Ask us whatever questions you have. We'll get them answered for you. We'll talk to you about what it takes to get started. Create your own personal asset list. Get that list of names going. It's a huge asset, and we'll show you what to then do with that asset list. Get signed up by going to Avisae.com. Get enrolled today. Pick up your 3 shares. They'll be worth a lot of value to you in the future. It's been great being on the call with you. Brad, anything else before we wrap up?
Nope. We just want you to know this is about you. And the Blue Ocean Business Group is an organization designed to help you, to teach you. I discovered many years ago that it was not the business necessarily, but who I was in business with. I wanted to be in business with people that could help me succeed, that could help me make money and help me get the goals and dreams I had. And that's this organization, the Blue Ocean Business Group. We will help you do this. Combined with Avisae, we'll supply the product, goods, and services to help you create the channel commerce business that will be residual and long-term for you. And we've appreciated you spending your time to be with us this evening. Tune in Friday night, and you can meet our chief scientist, our doctor, medical doctor.
Incredible guy. You need to be on the call and listen to him. He's a fantastic guy.
And so that's Friday night. Tune into that, and over and out.
You guys are awesome. We'll see you soon. Take care.